Alright, y'all. It's your West Side Pole Blessing. Now, we're going to get into these relatively new, only been out for a few years, Hornady Black, and that big bad 357 mag 125 grain XTP, which now the projectile itself is nothing new. It came out around 1990, and XTP stands for Extreme Terminal Performance Hollering Tip, and these were originally designed in 1990 for medium and large game hunters who wanted a good load to go hunting with, and the big bad 357 mag full-size large frame hunting revolver, and the game wardens who needed a powerful load that was adequate enough to penetrate to the hard bones of mad, angry animals with sharp teeth on four legs like bears and mountain lions and stuff like that. So the way this projectile was designed, it has a very thick copper jacket with deep scars in it and a notoriously hard lead compound, which ensures you get both the best worlds. You get the bone crushing penetration of a rifle-like soft tip, but you also get the expansion because it's a holler tip. Now, you won't get as much. These XTPs are made for one to penetrate through hard bones, a medium and large size game like bar, black bear, mule deer, even grizzly, you hit him right. So these are going to give you more penetration and not as much expansion as your self-defense hollering tip. And now, at 125 grains, which gets me to, these are a full-powered big bad 357 mag load. Because if you guys know about guns, 125 is usually the most powerful. 125 grain is usually the most powerful and most effective weight for the big bad 357 mag, because you get the most velocity and you get the 125 grain bullet propelled at the highest velocities, have more muzzle energy than the lighter caliber, even the heavier caliber bullets. And you know the big bad 357 mag goes as light as 110 grain defensive holler tips from Winchester to Border Patrol and U.S. Marshal loads, all the way up to the 180 grain loads that you could get back in the day, like the Winchester Black Talons. And now only Buffalo Bar and Grizzly for hunting makes them heavy 180 grains in this big bad 357 mag. Usually 158 grain hollering tip, soft nose hollering tip, or jacketed soft point is about all you his heavy you're gonna get with his big bad is 158 grains. But at 125 grains, it's at the peak terminal velocity, muzzle energy, and weight, so that it has the most effective knockdown power in range. You're talking about this load puts out over 625 foot-pounds of muzzle knockdown energy. But now, once again, this brings me to you gotta know your load. Now, with the 125 grain full powered big bad 357 mag load, this Hornady Black. Now, this is used by the U.S. Coast Guard. It's issued the ones who carry revolvers, but this is a hunting load, and the U.S. Coast Guard use full-size, large-range, 4-inch barrel revolvers, same as a hunter or a game warden use. Even some hunters, if you really want to get maximum velocity at this and get even more knockdown power over 700 foot-pounds, they use a big old long 6-inch hunting barrel revolver, which you see on TV a lot, but that's not practical for everyday carry for personal defense. And now with this 2-inch SNUBBAY, you're talking about these bad boys are still going over 1,300 feet per second with over 500 foot-pounds of goddamn muzzle knockdown energies, which is good and all, but this is just a backup load for when I go in the field, when I go whitetail deer hunting, in case I see a black barn or a deer, I'm going to drop him. Now, for personal defense, I definitely think these are much too powerful. They over-penetrated. I tested these. I was never able to capture a slug. These even penetrated more. These 125 grain Hornady XTP Extreme Terminal Performance hollering tips from Hornady Black, these even penetrated more than the jacketed soft point heavyweight Hank Federal American Eagle, the engine block breaker, the police called them back in the day. Rightfully so. And these penetrated more than them, and you really didn't see too much expansion from what I can tell. So these are hard cast lead, super lead, and from what I can tell for these XTPs, since they're a hunting projectile, you need a little bit more barrel length and velocity, at the least a 3-inch barrel. All those, you know, the subcomp, you had the smallest one. I have a SNUBBAY, a TAR 605J frame 5-shot, which is what they call the micro revolver. Then you have the subcompact, the 3-inch barrel. This has a 2-inch SNUBBAY. Then the subcompact to step up have a 3-inch. Then the large frame full size has a 4-inch. at the minimum, you're going to want a 3-inch at the least. The 2-inch SNUBBAY, not saying this ain't going to work. Anything peak past, they for this here mag going to blow him down. But over penetration, this should go clean through that bad man. Whoever's behind him, the motherfucker through that, and through a house. You don't want that. But out in the field where you downrange, you can shoot and do what you want to do. And ain't got to worry about any casualties. So definitely, if this had a longer barrel, like a 4 or 6-inch revolver, where these hard cast XTP hunting hollering tips could expand, it would be a better load for everyday carry or personal defense. Even if I maybe had a 3-inch, get a little more velocity. But even at 1,300 feet per second around, these things do not really expand as much as they should. They are some deep penetrators, although you can get them expand. I want to test them in some gel just to see the maximum I can get to see what they can do. But haven't had a chance to test them yet, really. But this is a full powered pack by 357 mag load from Hornady Black. Flip your ass, boy. You're going to do it, son. Hard and fast. With this goddamn Hornady Black big bad 357 mag, that's your ass.